Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making old-fashioned ham pot pie. Alright, I'm starting out here in a pot. So I'm going to add in a 4-pound ham steak I diced up. And if you have the time, dice your own ham up because it's cheaper that way. You're not paying someone else to do it for you. I have 1 medium onion and 2 stalks of celery I diced up. They're going in. And guys, it's going to be perfect because it's chilly outside and it's really cold at night. So this helps warm you up. Now I'm going to add in 8 cups of water. Alright, let me grab a spoon. Okay, now I have this Goya ham seasoning. This stuff's really good. I'm going to start out by putting in 4 packs. And this gives a good country ham flavor with the smoke and all the other good flavors that comes with ham. I'm going to start with 4 packs, add them in. And this here got a little hard in the cupboard, but that's alright, it's still good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this up to a gentle boil, and I'm going to allow it to cook for a while we move on to our pot pie. Okay, now for our pot pie, in a bowl I have 1 cup of water. So I'm going to add in 1 egg. And I got this pot pie recipe from my mom. God love her, she's 85 years old. I'm going to add in a healthy teaspoon of salt. And she got this recipe from her mom, which is long gone. She was born in 1898. She died in 86 when I was a teenager. I'm going to mix this together, the water and the egg, scramble the egg up in there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start adding flour in until this gets to the right dough consistency. I'm going to start with 1 cup. I know that's not going to be enough. I'm going to put a ½ cup in. And I'm going to stir this around. And I see already it's going to need more flour. But this is going to make a decent amount of pot pie. And I'm using a silicone spatula, that way I can scrape down the sides of the bowl. You see how it's starting to come together, but it's still kind of tacky. We don't want it sticky like that. We want it a good dough consistency. So I'm going to put another ½ cup of flour in. Give that a stir. And you just want to mix it up well so you get your flour all incorporated through to get the moisture out, the excess moisture. Just a little more flour. And if you get a little too much in, don't worry, because you're going to roll this out and I will help keep it from sticking on your surface. Alright, that's right about where I want it. Okay, now I put down a piece of non-stick parchment paper on my stove top. If you have an island or a big countertop, that's great. I have a small kitchen, very limited workspace, so I got to make what I have work. Let's spread some flour out on this parchment paper, pardon me, and I'm going to flour my rolling pin. And I'm going to take a little bit of my dough because I'm working in a limited space. If you have a bigger space, you can take a bigger piece. And I'm just going to get that well incorporated in the flour. And I tasted my broth over here to see if I needed more of that seasoning. And we're good on the seasoning. I have just a hair of salt, but it has really good smoky ham flavor. And I have it over here simmering. Now I'm going to roll my dough out. You don't want to roll it so thin that it tears. I probably could have used a bigger piece of dough, but that's alright. But you want to roll it out thin enough that's not real thick. Okay, there it is. It looks like the map of the United States. How's that? Alright, I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut this into little pieces. About like that. Now let me get a little flour over here on the edge of my paper. And we're just going to lay our pot pie out on that, keep it from sticking. And you don't want to overlap your pot pie on top of each piece because it will stick together and you'll never get it apart. So I'm going to go ahead and use all my dough up, make up all my pot pie, and then I'll be back. Alright, now that I got my pot pie all rolled out, and I have this sheet here and I have another sheet on the table full of it, I'm going to start layering my pot pie in there. You want to do this slow and layer it in flat, because if you throw it all in, it's going to make a dough ball, and you don't want that. And the flour on the pot pie, that'll help thicken up the broth so it isn't pot pie soup. I'm going to lay some of this in here. Just give it a little stir. And I'm going to keep doing this so I have all my pot pie layered in the pot. Okay, now that I have all my pot pie in, I'm going to add in some fresh parsley I diced. You could also use dry if that's all you have. I'm going to stir that in. I'm going to bring this back up to a gentle boil, and I'm going to allow it to boil for probably 15 to 20 minutes or so my pot pie's tender and this starts to thicken up. I let this go for 20 minutes. You can see how nice and thick and beautiful it's getting. I tasted my pot pie, it's tender, cooked through. This is ready to go, guys. Let's go ahead and fix up a plate and see what we got. I add a little more fresh parsley to it for a pop of color. Now you could add potatoes to this, peas, carrots, whatever you like. I'm just keeping it basic and simple today. Cut this pot pie here. I'm going to start with a piece of this ham. Ham's tender. Ham always is amazing, good ham flavor. Get some of this pot pie and a little bit of that sauce. Now you can eat this in a bowl with more sauce as a soup if you like. Pot pie's tender, has a good rich smoky ham flavor. Guys, that's really delicious. Wasn't that hard at all to make. Old-fashioned ham pot pie. Thanks for watching and supporting me. Remember, love what you eat what you love.